Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back in Hobo's Hollow for episode 2 of our full shop challenge here. The series in which we try to get every single piece of equipment and machinery in the vehicle shop, farm every piece of land on the map, have every type of animal, every production chain, do every single crop, just to try and get a full completion of the game of Farming Simulator in one map. It's never been done before on YouTube. I'm excited, I hope you guys are too. For today, we're going to be selling some crops that we have stored up in our silo that we started off with. We've got a lot of different types: wheat, barley, oat, canola, sorghum, sunflowers, and soybeans to sell. Most of them are January and December, which will be in a couple months here. Today, what we're going to be looking at is if there are any good contracts to take, fields to harvest or to plant, something like that, as well as we're also going to be looking at getting our first production chain slash factory thing. I'll be looking at a couple of greenhouses to see if that's something that we should be looking into right now. If you did miss last episode, we planted canola in field 4 and wheat in field 1, as well as rolled the fields and talk about all the rules and the ideas for this playthrough. So if you did miss that, feel free to check it out. Hopefully that is informative. There'll be a link in the description for the series playthrough, as well as episode 1, so you could just check that out if you did miss it. But for today, before I just talk and babble on too long, let's have a look and see if we have any weeds or anything in our fields we just planted. Looks like we've got some weeds in field 4, so we can hurry up right away and get in there and get those taken care of with our favorite 515C. We did plow field 1 and field 4, so they won't have any weeds growing in them. Field 1 and 2, sorry, we plowed. We didn't plow field 4, so yes, there are a few weeds growing. Not a big deal at all. It's a pretty small field. This is a 4x map, so it does look very small on the map, but it is larger than it does appear. If that size of a field was in like Elm Creek, it would be super tiny in the actual game too, but it is bigger than they appear on the map, which is good, because if I'm going to have every single piece of equipment, obviously there's a few large pieces of equipment, so you're going to need some big fields to be using the big equipment. So that's just why I went with the 4x map, to have more land to work, more room to place the museum and whatnot. Yeah, should be pretty good for what I need. I didn't want to go with an 8x or even 16x maps. Those things are huge. I didn't think it would be very feasible for me to own and farm all of the land on a 16x map, or an 8x map for that matter. So I decided to, yeah, go with just a 4x. Big, but not too big. It's kind of hard to see the weeds. I do apologize. It's difficult for me, so I know it's difficult for you guys. I'm just trying to get all of them killed when they're young, so that there's nothing to worry about later on in the field's life. Not that we're going for full realism, but, you know, not the most realistic to be spraying herbicide in the winter time. It would freeze. You don't spray liquid on your crops when it's below freezing outside. It's a terrible idea. So I'm sure, you know, some places that's done when it's not quite as cold, but to my knowledge, it doesn't make much sense. So we're just going to try and not do full realism, but make things make sense. I'm following seasons, and I can't plant in December, January, February, so I shouldn't be spraying herbicide in December, January, February time either. Okay, there's that field done. Let's get that sprayer folded up. And, yep, weeds are done. Let's check out the precision farming. We've got our nitrogen and our lime done for fields 1 and 4. We will be planting corn on fields 2 and 3 at some point. However, that's for another time, because we cannot plant corn in October. So next on the agenda, we're going to check and see if there are any good contracts to take, and then after that we'll be looking into possibly getting a greenhouse or something along those lines. Just a little thing we can have on the farm to give us something to do during the winter months, because I don't want to just be skipping months completely. It's not really fun for me just to sleep over and over and over again until we get to something good to do. So let's go ahead and shut this thing off, have a look at the contracts to see if there's anything good to take. Could do some harvesting. That wouldn't be the worst idea, but those types of things are going to take a while. Look at that, $65,000. Very, very close to $65,000 for field 57. Is that this one up here? Yeah, biggest field in the map. $65,000 to harvest it. That's crazy. I have $380,000. Started off with 500, but the roller, which is over here, paid for seeds and fertilizer. Well, what other stuff did we buy? Seeds, fertilizer, the roller, maybe the fertilizer spreader? I don't know. I don't remember exactly what we bought. We also did pay for lime and stuff, so with paying for workers, we are down to $384,000. So I don't really want to do a harvesting contract right now. I could do a fertilizing. Field 15 for $30,000. Did I read that right? Where's 15? That field. So this is field 1, which is our biggest. Field 15 is quite a bit larger than that. So I'm going to go ahead and say no thank you to the contracts for now. Let's check on the used vehicle sale. So we have a 41-foot header, a 7S. That wouldn't be bad. Okay, it's not very big. I could go with this seeder. Right now we have the Horsch Pronto, which is 6 meters wide. This is 8 meters wide, also direct drill, but it can't do fertilizer like my Horsch can. The Horsch Pronto 6. It can do fertilizer and seed. It is 6 meters wide and direct drill, so I'm definitely don't need to have a seeder that can do fertilizer and seed, but it would be nice, obviously, to take out 2 birds with 1 stone. I could look into that. I don't think I will for now. What I'm thinking is we go for this Lemkin next, whenever we can afford it. Obviously, we can afford it now. I don't want to just buy stuff just because we can. Obviously, I can go with a Horsch Avatar, which is 12 meters wide as well. And this one can seed directly, whereas the Lemkin cannot. So maybe that'll be the better one to go with. And then obviously eventually we'll have these air hoe drills, and the Terminator. This is one of my favorite seeders since Farming Simulator 17. I believe it was in the Big Bud DLC, which that was the first Farming Simulator I owned. So yeah, I really love that seeder and air cart. It's pretty sweet. Anyways, let's have a look at some greenhouses. That'd be production greenhouses. So we could obviously, we have the money to go with a large greenhouse. Do I own this land out here? Okay, so we own quite a bit. This is a perfect spot. Could have a shed there, so I might put a greenhouse like in this little pocket here, because I'm probably going to want to put a shed there. Let's see what kind of sheds we can fit in there. Yeah, something like that. Is there a way for me to turn off snapping? Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Anyways. Yeah, I could get a nice little shed to house our stuff, because this is all we've got for now. Yeah, we have the old barn. Can I get off? Okay, yeah. We have the old barn here. It's not wide enough to fit most of our stuff. Our John Deere 4755 with the duals on the back can't even fit through the door. The subsoiler's too wide. The harvester's obviously too wide. So basically the only thing we've got in there is our pickup and then the Fendt 515. So yeah, definitely gonna want a bigger shed at some point. Where is the... Okay. So yeah, I can just put a couple of these in here. Let's just start with 2 for now. Don't want to do anything too crazy, but that should be a fair bit. And I could even go with like a solar panel somewhere or something. That makes $9,000 a month. Nearly. Wow, that's crazy. So in 10 months you've already paid it off. Wow. That wouldn't be the worst thing to do. We'll have a look at that later. Let's buy a water tanker. It'll be in animals, yeah. Can't do this one yet, that's too big. Can do the 8,000 or the 7,300. Benefit of this one, obviously there's a big price gap between the two. The benefit of this one is you can do milk, water, herbicide, and liquid fertilizer, whereas this one only does water, just like these. I'm going to go with this one. We can make it black. Let's give it silver wheels. It looks kind of silly, but yeah. Let's hop in the newer Fendt, the 936, and let's go and get that taken care of. Okay, so here we are at the river in the middle of the map. It runs along this one main road that we usually take for most things. This is our farm down here. This is probably where I'm going to be filling up. The banks are not too steep, so it should be pretty easy to get in there and fill it up. Now, each of these greenhouses, if I am correct, holds 20,000 liters of water. This holds 8,000, so that'll be 5 full loads, because we have 2 greenhouses. But yes, this is not too far away, this river, so I'm not going to show you all 5 trips. I figured I'd show you this one, just so you can get a feel for what I'm doing. There's the first full tanker. Then we just drive back up onto the road. Hopefully don't hit any cars. And take this tanker to the farm to fill up our greenhouses with water. Now, I might eventually look into a mod. I have a few mods of greenhouses that require like water and manure or water and liquid fertilizer, just because only getting water is a little bit too easy. I'm not sure. We'll see. You guys can let me know what you think about that as well. But for right now, these ones just have water. And they have strawberry, tomatoes, and lettuce. I will probably be doing all 3 of those just for some variety. And I also need to look into a like a forklift or a skid steer or something to move the pallets around. Just because I don't want to be using super strength. I don't think I even have that turned on for this playthrough. I don't have that mod installed, so. There we go. Filling it up with water. Let's hop in the doors. Oops. Hit my tractor. And let's turn it on to all three. There we go. Looking a lot more green now that we've got stuff running. I'll go get to work filling these up and catch up with you guys later. Here is the last container of water to go in. And then, as you can see, I did also buy a shed there for us to store the pallets, as well as some extra machinery from the farm. I thought that was a good way to do it, so we didn't have the pallets just like sitting here out in the rain and snow and whatever. But yeah, as you'll see, that one is very close to being full. It's 19,925 liters out of 20,000, and this one was full, but it goes down, obviously, as stuff is produced. So let's get this water tanker put away. We're going to have to purchase a skid steer or a forklift. I don't know which one's cheaper. Forklift is what we're going with. I like this one. I think I'll do this one. It's the big beefy one from the Platinum expansion. Big brother to this one. As you can see, a little more narrow. Tires aren't quite as thick. Yeah. And then this one is just so tiny. I wouldn't use this one unless we had like a perfectly flat cement pad, because look at how small those wheels are. I don't think those would handle the dirt very well. That's why I went with this one. Anyways, that will need to be delivered to the farm once I can get this stupid trailer backed up. Alright, let's try this again. Not perfect, but it's in there. Good enough. I'm going to put the tractor back, and then we'll drive that forklift all the way down. And park that in the shed as well. Oops. And I'm not sure how many pallets that greenhouse is going to produce. But if it does get full, we can always just take the roller out. For now, I'm going to park the John Deere and the roller in the shed too, which should leave the one bay open for pallets. Again, not sure how many we're going to be producing. We may need the whole shed eventually for pallets, but I hope not. Let's try and put that all the way in the corner there so that the 4755 can fit right beside it. Beautiful tractor, this one. One of my favorites in the game. Alright, I'm going to take the forklift back. Very good. Now, I'll take this back to the farm. I'm not going to make you watch me take this at 13 miles an hour the whole way. Just know it was very boring, very slow, and it made me want to pull my hair out. One very slow, very painful trek across the map with this Manitou forklift. Later, I'm here at the farm. Turns out the top speed was actually 14 miles an hour, so it wasn't as bad as 13, but still terrible. Don't want to do that again. Let's put the bags here next to the fertilizer spreader. Very good. And we'll just plop them down. Excellent. Put this in the shed, and then we will be... Yeah, I gotta think about whether or not I want to take a contract. I don't really want to right now. I don't need the money. I did just spend another 100,000, so maybe I should, because I'm spending it a lot faster than I'm making it. I've already spent half my stack. Ooh, I do have wheat, barley, and sorghum, so I could get some chickens right away. We already have the forklift. Should we jump right into chickens? Let's see what we're looking at here. $80,000 for this tiny little chicken coop, plus the price of the chickens. What kind of trailer do I have? Do I even have a tipper? I don't think I do. Oh, so that's definitely a need. Let's buy one. Let's go ahead and do this one. We'll start with the extension on. If the extension's too tall, we can always get rid of it. I like that orange. Let's do it. Spend some money. There we go. That was definitely a need. So now we have 231,000 after that. This is too close. Alright. Let's sleep, because I decided not to do any contracts. We'll see how much water the greenhouses use. And then, obviously, at some point we're going to have to grab the trailer from the store to sell the crops. And we'll see how much money those bring in. They're projected to get about 190 maximum value. We'll see if they get, I would guess probably like 175,000 would be a good place to hope, because obviously they're not all going to be at their max price, even if it's their highest month. Alright, let's see here. We're at 18,500 liters, so it used about 1,500. We do have a pallet of strawberries. Very nice. This one has, yep, the same 18.5 and a pallet of strawberries. Could sell the canola now. That's only $400 less than it would be. Okay. Well, those greenhouses did not use near as much as I thought they might. So that's good. We won't have to refill them every single day. Maybe every 2 or 3, but not every single day. So that's good. Check the used vehicle sale. Don't need that. Check the contracts. Got more fertilizing, some weeding contracts. But not interested in those right now. I'm going to do what I don't want to do and sleep through the day. And then we will be selling the crops this month and next month. Most of them. Some of them are selling in, like, I think the soybeans are in June or July, and the sunflowers sell in March. But yeah, as you can see, we do have some daily expenses. Not terrible at all. Really not bad. $100,000 harvesting contract? Wow. Getting closer, but again, maybe if I work a lot during the day, I could fill them up, but for right now, it's not looking like they're going to need it. Let's check on the crops, how they're doing. Still no more weeds. They're growing pretty good. We've got, when can we plant the corn? March. So we've got a few months until March. Let's see what's ready to go. Oh, just the canola's ready to go? Alright, well, I'll jump in the tractor. Literally, I jumped. Okay. And we will grab the trailer, fill it up with the canola, sell it. I am also going to check and see if the combine auger will fit over the extension, because if it will, that's amazing. If it won't, not a big deal. We'll just have to remove the extension. But yeah, that's not terrible. I can definitely handle that. Because even without the extension, it'll still hold 22,000 liters, which is pretty solid. Without the extension, it's 22. With the extension, I think it's like 37,500, which is pretty solid. We've got the trailer. Let's fill it with canola and then find out where we're supposed to sell it at. Just turn around here and come on through. That weight's going to be in the way. And then I am going to also come out here and see. I don't know, that looks pretty tall. We'll see. Gotta unfold it first. I mean, I could just, like, drive up next to it. That looks like it's too the trailer's too tall. But we will fold it out. Sometimes, yeah, it does stretch up pretty good, so. Oh yeah, we got room. Sweet, so I can use the extension. That's great news. Now I have a bigger trailer, and I don't need to always be updating or customizing it to remove and add the extension over and over again. So, fantastic. Let's see where to sell the canola. 2155 Reverend Grain. Whoops. Where is that? Right there, not too far away. Sweet. So we'll just get on that main road there and take it across. Brilliant. And this should make 25,000-ish dollars, which isn't superb, but it's pretty good. Oh, we got quite a bit of pallets now. $25,000 doesn't go very far, but it is just about as good as a lot of the contracts have been, and I didn't even have to do anything for this. When I started this map, I had stuff in the silo, so that's just the way the modder set up the map, which I am very grateful for. I love starting with selling stuff. Helps you get a little bit of a boost starting out. Makes it easier to start up the farm, especially in 22, because 22 is a bit difficult to get things going sometimes. This map looks pretty good. I'm really glad I went with it. This is only the second episode, but yeah, the rolling hills, the trees, it's just got a nice aesthetic. It's got a lake over there. Is that the river? No, that is a little lake. It's pretty cool. And it's 4x too, which means all the fields are bigger than they look on the map, so. Yeah, that's definitely really cool. I like water features on maps. They do take up some of the land for farming, but I think if they're done well, they are definitely worth it. And this is a map where I think they were done well. Alright, let's have a look and see how close my estimate was of $25,000-ish. $25,847 plus $880 environmental score reward, which brings our total up to about $26,500. So I undercut it a little bit. Let's see, next month is the big month for selling. Actually, oats is a higher price than it would be next month. Like, its max value is lower than what it's at now, so we'll go ahead and take the oats to the grain mill. I could even buy the grain mill. I don't think I will, but I definitely could. Take my grain there and then buy it. Or buy it before I take the grain there, rather, so that I can actually turn it into flour and stuff. That wouldn't be the worst idea. Then I could buy the bakery and make bread and stuff. And I do have the big wheat field that I planted. I might do that. We'll have to see how expensive the granary is, or the grain mill is. Okay, let's fill it with oats, because those are looking really good. Oh, it looks like all 3 greenhouse plants or produce are set to sell in February, so that's good. Nothing else is quite at its max yet, so only oats is what we'll be selling. I think it's, how expensive is it? 80,000? 120? 96,000. Yeah. And then the bakery, let's see, is there a bakery anywhere? Carpentry, that's a sawmill there. Grape processing, sugar mill, oil mill, bakery. Let's visit and see how much it costs. Is it 40,000, 60,000? I never remember. $50,000. So between the two, that'd be 146,000. I think I can afford that just fine. Oh yes, I did forget about that. I start off with the oats that I just put in there. So we're getting a little bit of a doubling up effect. But it's a good thing I didn't sell all of my crops and then buy it, because that would have been nearing towards something I don't necessarily want to do. Just like field flipping. A completely legit workaround in the game, like you just sell all your produce to max out the storage of the production chain and then buy the production chain. You start out with all the stuff that you just sold to it, so you're getting cash for selling it, and you'll get cash later for selling the flour that it turns into. So yeah, not ideal, but now I do have like a bonus 12,300 liters of oats. And yeah, I don't even have to wait until next month to sell the wheat and barley and sorghum, because it can just go right in the grain mill right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oops, I thought he was stopping to turn. I totally just cut that guy off. With this sorghum here, we've got all of the flour crops into the grain mill. As you can see right here, we've got about 30,000 liters of wheat, about 23,000 liters of barley, 12,000 of oats, and just put in 8,750 liters of sorghum. So, which one has the best ratio? Oats are the only crop that makes more flour. Oh wait, no. I guess sorghum does that as well. But oats has the most flour per liter of crop, so that's definitely very good. We do already have our first pallet of flour out. I do want to check and see when that would sell in January, so yeah. Not gonna sell that unless I need to. If I end up not having enough money to afford the bakery, I'll just sell all the flour and take a nice lump sum of money, and then I can buy the bakery later. Because as it is, turning the wheat into flour and then selling the flour makes more than just selling the wheat does. So we're already making more with those crops than we would have if we just turned around and sold them. But obviously turning the flour into bread and selling the bread is more financially beneficial than just selling the flour. So if we can extend the process into a two-step process instead of just a one-step of turning it into flour, if we can turn it into flour and then turn it into bread, we'll make even more. So definitely where I'm wanting to go. And that's the chain part of the productions. You want to chain them together in as many steps as you can, because it gets more and more, you make more and more money as you go along, stringing more and more of them together. So today was a productive day. We got some good crops sold, just the canola and the oats were sold, and then we bought the grain mill and we're producing flour with the rest of them. Next up on the agenda will be, of course, moving the pallets if necessary. I'm probably going to refill the greenhouses with water because they can both use some. Yeah, the sorghum's already out. Wow. In one day, it's almost full of flour. So I need to forget about the greenhouse pallets because they have tons of room. I need to get this Manitou down to the grain mill and move the flour out of there. Let's get over there right away and do that. Thankfully, the road between my farm and my grain mill is a lot shorter than the road between the store and my farm, so that trek wasn't quite as terrible, but it was still quite annoying. I'm going to start off with not stacking these up. I will probably very quickly transition to stacking them, but we're just going to get them moved out of the way for now. And then we will get a low loader in here and maybe even take a shipment to the bakery. Well, I was looking over my options for a flat deck low loader type thing, and I decided they were all too small, so we did go with the big covered pallet shipping container type thing instead. Quite large. It needs a dolly because I don't have a semi-tractor, so semi-trailer. I do have a semi-trailer. I don't have a semi, is what I'm trying to say. So, this is what will be used to... This is what will be used to ship our pallets from location to location. It is quite large, but if I'm planning on having every single production chain at some point, then yeah, it definitely makes sense to have a big trailer. Now, I still will look at a smaller low loader, like the Bremer, when it comes to like pallets of wool, maybe the pallets from the greenhouse, smaller amounts than the flour, because the grain mill, it produces a crap ton of flour, as you guys have seen. Like, that was one day, it made 36,000 liters of flour, nearly, which is absurd. So, you don't want 36 pallets every single night to be put on like a small little flat deck. It's going to need something bigger, and that's what I've got right here, is something bigger. So I have future-proofed my pallet shipping capabilities. And I got a pretty cool looking trailer while I'm at it, so there's that. I'm gonna do a time lapse of me loading it up, and then we'll go and take the flour down to the bakery and put it all there in order to start producing some bread, and then the bread will be sold whenever it's ripe, whenever it's ready. Sorry, bread doesn't get ripe. It gets produced, and when it's ready, we'll sell all that. It'll probably need to be shipped on this. I think it's a 2-to-1. I think 2 liters of flour makes 1 liter of bread, and well, I already have 36,000 liters of flour, so that would make 18,000 liters of bread, which is 18 pallets. So yeah, I'm probably going to want the big covered trailer here. How do I want to go about this? I'm going to try that again. I'm going to line it up so that it's perpendicular to the row of produce. Okay, and I'm going to want the dolly to get out of the way, so let's pull it a little bit straight. Okay. And then I want to make sure it is set to right front. Yep, that's what we'll start with. We'll load front to back. And then when it gets full, we'll change it to put the curtain, to fold up the curtain in the front so we can put some pallets in the back. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this time lapse. Let's get into it. Probably could have done a neater job. Definitely should have, or definitely could have. But none of the pallets are peeking out there from the tarp, so I'll count that as a win for sure. Let's tag the bakery. And head on down there. Alright, now we need to buy the bakery for $50,000. Ooh, cake. We can make that some other time. Okay. Oh, I forgot to strap them down, so there's a lot of chaos in there now. Oops. Alright, let's watch them disappear. Maybe. Hopefully. Oops. Oh good, it is disappearing. Kind of. Hopefully. But they don't sell if they're tilted sideways, so I'm gonna have to... There. The physics of this game have no obvious flaws. I just reversed and the pellet flipped over. Okay. Oh good, I can move those out of the way. This tree is annoying. They're just riding themselves, that's funny. Okay, all of them are in. 26, or well, it was 27,000 liters, and it is a 2-to-1. 2 liters of flour makes 1 liter of bread. So 2,000 liters of flour makes 1,000 liters of bread. So every 2 pallets of flour makes a pallet of bread. I just brought in 27 pallets. I'm going to go park the trailer back at the grain mill. I'm going to leave it there until there's enough flour to make another full load, because I don't want to have to just take like a half load back, which is what we have there now. So we'll just wait until it's ready to have a whole nother trailer. So probably next month we'll sell the greenhouse produce. We'll take another load of flour over, and then we will move into March, where we'll sell the sunflowers and then plant the corn. We are already below $100,000, which I was hoping to have $100,000 in order to be able to buy a planter and have enough money to buy seeds and all that stuff. So hopefully between selling the greenhouse produce, and the sunflowers, hopefully we'll have enough to buy a planter and sustain ourselves through harvest time for the wheat and the canola. I am going to take the strawberries to the bakery. Well, I won't do that yet, actually, sorry. You need strawberries to make cake. You also need like sugar and milk and all that stuff, maybe even eggs, so, whoops. So I'll wait until I have some more ingredients to start working on cake. But yeah, we have already produced one of the productions. We have completely maxed out one production chain, which is making bread. You take cereal crops, turn it into flour, take the flour, turn it into bread, sell the bread. That's when we'll have that one done. Which will be interesting. I didn't do the math to see how much I would have made if I sold the wheat and all that stuff instead of making it into bread, but obviously, since we've just bought the production chains themselves, that's a big upfront cost, so we're not going to make any money back. Like, we're going to be negative in terms of our profit margins for this month. this cycle, not this cycle of selling them. Actually, let's go ahead and open that. And then we'll use... let's see, I'm going to bring the... Okay, sorry, I'm a little flustered here. I only have one forklift. I need to move these flower pallets next month into the trailer, but I also need to sell the grain or the produce from the greenhouses right over here. So I'm just trying to figure out when the best time for that would be. Let's see how full they are. Looks like we should have enough to be just fine. Enough room to leave the produce there while we're loading up the flour next month, so. Off to bed we go. Okay, here we are in February. Let's see what we're projected to get from our produce here. So it looks like around about $19,500, or maybe even $20,000 total from these three. So let's see, when is bread is supposed to sell in January, so I'm gonna have to wait all the way until next year to sell that. The flour sells in January too, so let's see if our production chains got full. We're out of oat. We're almost out of barley. We're almost out of wheat too, so we can turn that back on. Let's see how many pallets of bread spawned. Ooh, it's snowing. Look at that. We got 1 pallet of bread, which equates to... Let's check the prices here. There's bread. $5,000 per pallet. That's some really good money right there. Anyways, I'm going to fill up this trailer. I'm not going to time-lapse this one because you've already seen it. But yeah, we will be back to the bakery with another full thing of flour. I do need to check and see if it can even take another one. Let's see. Flour, it's at 23,000 and it's not quite halfway, so I would assume 60,000 liters of flour is what it can take. I'm not sure, that's just a guesstimate. So, but anyways, we should be totally good to take all of this flour there, because we don't have a ton. We have less than last month, because the flour, the bakery is not full. The grain mill, sorry, not the bakery. The bakery's also not full, I guess. Okay. I'll get this loaded, and I'll see you at the bakery. We got the trailer here, let's get it loaded, and then we'll get our stuff sold. I do need to check and see where it's going to be sold. But we'll just park this right here. We'll go ahead and lower the deck. Alright. Looks like two of them want to be sold at Bubba Gump Farmers Market. So we're going to leave the strawberries alone. Get the lettuce and the tomatoes, which are the red and green containers. Leave the rest, because the strawberries are going somewhere else. With this one, we've got the trailer loaded up right there with the tomatoes and the lettuce. As, let's just get the straps on here. Strawberries are being sold. Their highest price is other than where the lettuce and tomatoes are. Let's just have a look and see where those prices are. For the lettuce and tomato, it is Bubba Gump Forest Market. And the strawberries are selling at the campsite. Wheat field looks pretty good. Didn't miss any big spots. There's no weeds on it because I plowed it up. So definitely not a hard year in terms of crop work. All I had to do was plow it and plant it. Of course, next year it won't be needing plowed, so weeds will be popping up. Alright. Let's go ahead and get these sold. Whoops, they don't sell there, silly. They sell right over here. Moment of truth. This take forever to sell, of course. Money's going up. Produce is going down. Man, this takes forever. I apologize. Come on now. Alright, so not quite 12,000, plus the environmental score award gets us over 12,000, so where am I going? Okay. Not terrible, not very great either, but that was only like 3 months, so yeah, because when did I get those? December? November? I don't remember. Anyways, gonna head back, load them up with strawberries, and take it to the farmer's market or wherever those are selling. Let's just have a gander and see. Campsite. Let's get over there. Easy does it now. Right on the top. Let's get this thing put away in the shed, and then we'll take the strawberries over to the campsite to get them sold. There, we got the flour in there. We got the strawberries sold. Greenhouses are still producing. They do have enough water. I'm going to have to refill them at some point, but we'll leave that all up to next episode. Still producing a little bit of flour with the barley, but that will run out very quickly. And the bread is just going to keep on working. We got 49,000 liters of flour. We're going to have quite a bit of bread. I'm going to have to get the forklift down here at some point, or just buy another one, which is probably what I will do, assuming I have the money. Buy a forklift, this one preferably, as it's very cheap, or a skid steer, in order to move some pallets around. But yeah, for now, that's where I'm going to leave the episode off. Until next time, if you guys did appreciate this video, or you did like it, feel free to leave a like, and leave a comment saying what you liked, or what you want to see next on the playthrough. I'm going to be keeping on making these episodes. So if you don't want to miss the next one, be sure to subscribe. It's free, and it will help you know when the next episode's coming out so you can watch it right away. All you guys' support is greatly appreciated. I'll see you next time. Peace.